Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Cape Coral Gabfest live broadcast on YouTube. I'd like to welcome everybody. And yes, tonight we are live on 146.490 on FM, and that is on Simplex. The difference is a lot of times when we do nets, you hear us on a repeater, and today we're not on a repeater. Today we are on Simplex, and let me just make sure that we are up here. Yep, there we go. We are on Simplex. You can see the levels right there on your screen, and everything is all set to go there. Now, also tonight, we've got severe weather breaking over in Texas, and we will be covering that as well. I'll be bringing up the storm chasers, and we'll be covering that in the lower left corner. Looks like we've got 7 storm chasers just on this, 8 storm chasers on this one storm. So I'm going to, oh, wow, and we've got a lowering right there. Look at this, guys. Bada bing. It's a winner right off the bat. So as the net starts here, we've got a lowering that looks like we've got a tornado at this point here in Texas. And I'm going to go ahead now and shuffle these all around the radar so that you guys get to see everything. It just takes me a minute to do this. When the net starts, I will yield to the net and on the audio, and I'll be continuing to keep this going. You will hear alerts from Radar Omega as well during the broadcast. Wow, we've got some great shots coming in, guys. Great shots coming in of a lowering here. Trying to get as many different shots here as we can. Do I already have that one? No, I don't think I do. We've got a number of storm chasers on this. This is an amazing situation here. I can take this full screen, and I will as things go crazy here. I will probably take this full screen if it gets too crazy. So stay with us out there. This is, like I said, the Cape Coral Gabfest here in Southwest Florida, which is an amateur radio simplex net. However, while this is going on, we have us a storm that's in Texas right now.
CQ.
I'll yield to the net.
Good evening from the Cape Coral. My name is Rick. My call is W8KZT, and we're here for the Cape Coral Gabfest. I'll be your host this evening, this first Thursday of the month for the Cape Coral Gabfest. We meet here every Thursday on 146.490 Simplex at 8 p.m. local time. Every Thursday. We welcome any and all hams to join us. After check-ins, we go through 2 rounds of comments, so please remember to stick around for that second round. As always, you may discuss anything you would like, ham radio related or anything else. And our topics tonight are, and what we had brought up last week, something about a 6-meter FM net at the FM calling frequency. If everybody would want to do something like that, and when we possibly might be able to do something about it, and whatever anything anybody might have that would get you involved with that 6-meter FM network. Also, want to know how many hams are ARRL members. Are you satisfied with the ARRL? And are you going to re-up this year, or if you have? What are the issues this year from the ARRL? And one thing I know of, that there are some frequency allocations to business that the FCC is trying to get and take away from amateur radio. So I don't remember what they are, but that is just something I have read, and I think there may be a whole lot more involved. But just want to see what everybody else thinks about what's going on with the ARRL. What's your feelings with them? Are you going to re-up? So this is W8KZT for the Cape Coral Gabfest, and at this point, we will take check-ins, and if you please do it at writing speed, and please be a little bit slow, and we'll be able to capture everybody here as we go. W8KZT, and open for check-ins.
Net control. Check in KO4EFS, Ian in North Fort Myers. That's KO4EFS.
Net control.
We can hear him tonight. That's awesome.
Net control. This is Whiskey 4 Charlie Foxtrot Sierra, Coral, in Southwest Cape Coral.
Net control. Kilo 4 Romeo Alpha Bravo, Rick in Fort Myers.
Net control, this is KN4 YYB Fred in North Fort Myers.
Net control. This is KB4AR Angelo in North Fort Myers.
Net control, KI4 GED.
Okay, great. We have a real super lineup right now. We've got Ian, KO4EFS, Tim, W6, WWW. We also have Carl, W4, CF, I got something wrong there on Carl's. Let me see what I got here. W4, CFS. I wrote it down wrong. Rick, K4RAB. We've got Fred, KN4YYB. Angelo at KB4AR. And Charles at KI4GED. Any more check-ins for the Cape Coral Gabfest?
Net control. Net control, Kilo November 4, Alpha Whiskey Charlie. John.
Okay, John, Kilo November 4, Alpha Whiskey Charlie. We've got you in here, John. Any other further check-ins? Okay, nothing heard. We'll step right up here and get everything on the roll here. I don't know that anybody had any good information coming in this week for HF contacts. If we have, I'm sure Tim will probably enlighten us on that. But I know those solar flares, I've heard everybody do nothing but complain about how bad the bands were this week. And I think they said that massive solar flare that they had was going to last for like 3, maybe even 4 days. So it's untelling what that happened. So okay, well, we're going to turn it over to Ian. Hopefully he's got us on the air tonight also. And what do you say, Ian? KO4 EFS W8KZT to you. Well, super, Ian. Yeah, it's glad to hear that we're live on YouTube, and I hope everybody that's listening on YouTube enjoys the net. This is the Cape Coral Gabfest, and we're back and live here in Cape Coral and around the tri-state area. Also, well, I'd like to go ahead and move this on to Tim. But first of all, Ian, I'm glad you got that 5 element up, and obviously with that, you're going to be able to work 6 meters pretty well next couple of months probably. So that's great. Glad to hear that. And we'll be looking forward to hearing from you on the second round. Okay, Tim, W6, WWW. What do you got going on, Tim?
Well, good evening, Rick and everybody on net. Whiskey 6 Triple Whiskey here. Not too much going on here. Haven't been on HF because I've been hearing that it hasn't been good, so I haven't really bothered. I've been hearing that on 2 meters, on the repeaters. Let's see. Other than that, I think we got the swap shop this weekend, so I'll be there. See y'all. Let's see. Other than that, we got the session coming up a week from today. I'll be there. What else is going on? Oh, the ARL situation. Yeah, I'll renew. It's not great, but I don't think there's any alternative organization. That's the thing. There's no other organization that does ham radio stuff. So it's like, it's kind of like a necessary evil, I suppose. There's who else is going to lobby in Congress and all that stuff with the FCC. So if you really don't have a lobbying body, then you're kind of radio hobby is kind of just a sitting duck. All the stuff will inevitably get sold off to broadcasts or whatever. So there's got to be a voice there to oppose any of that. So love it or hate him, the NRL is kind of the only thing that the only institution that HAM's got to actually really keep our privileges, at least maintain them. So to a certain degree, obviously, we might lose some. Who knows? I don't think we will, but maybe. Who knows? But at least maintaining and not losing completely. So I'm not one to worry about it. Worry about us losing our privileges, because I think that there's nothing to worry about until there's something to worry about. Something out of my cousin's Vinny. Of course, the thing that happened after wasn't great, but anyways, that's what I'm going with here. So I'm not really worried about it. I'll pay the dues and just live with it. So I don't get really worked up about it. So, but I get it too, because they don't do the magazine, and you have to go on the app now or on the computer to look at the magazine. So it's kind of that's not great. I definitely like the print much better. Much better. I hardly even look at the magazine. If I get it in the mail, I look at it every time. Yeah, there's just something about getting the magazine in the real magazine, not getting it digitally. But that's one of the things to time out. But yeah, that's probably my biggest complaint about it. But you're not getting the magazine now. I mean, you get it digitally. So, I mean, in terms of value, are you getting much? You're really just getting the lobbying part of it. That's really what you're getting. So, I mean, I would encourage people. It's like what, $20 a year? I don't know. It's something like that. It's not, it's not terrible. So, the cost, but I get it. People that don't want to be members, I get it. So, anyways, this is Whiskey 6 Triple Whiskey. Back to net.
Okay, Tim, well, thanks. Yeah, you had mentioned something about the swap shop. I don't believe it's this Saturday. I believe it's the following Saturday. I think they have it on the 2nd and 4th Saturday of the month, so I think it'll be next week, not this week. But maybe we can have an update from Rick, K4RAB, or Charles, KI4GED, on that, just to make sure. Okay, well, super. I hope everything turns out okay, and if there's anything you need from ARRL, I know you can do a lot of that stuff through the club itself. Okay, well, we'll move along right to Carl, W4, CFS. Carl, good evening. Great to hear from you.
Hey, good evening, Rick. Good evening, everybody on the net. Well, regarding the ARRL, if something better comes along, sure, I'd take a look at it. But I enjoy the publication, and I do get a lot out of it. I think the big thing though is protection of the spectrum. You know, there's more and more demand for space on the RF spectrum, and they're not making any more of it. So they're in there doing a job to save it as best we can. That was kind of one of my concerns with a lot of the unused spectrum that is available to us. That there's just a lot of other enterprises, commercial and otherwise, that would love to get a hold of it. So I think the ARRL has a good value there. They provide a good service for us. And there's other things too. The keeping up with things, people that you look at the silent keys column and so forth, and keep track of your old friends that when you move down here, you leave behind. And yeah, sure enough, I've caught up with a few of them on that too. So all in all, I think it's worth the money. I'll turn it back to Net. This is W4CFS.
Okay, well, thank you, Carl. I know I had read in one of the last emails from ARRL that we had probably lost some of our spectrum to a business for some reason. I can't remember exactly what all it was, but we had lost it, and I think they were still in the processes of still fighting against that. But I think we probably will be fighting a losing battle. But anyway, I just got my renewal membership in the mail, and it's $59 a year. If you want it with the QST magazine, it's an additional $25. And let's see, with the QST magazine and on the air magazine, that goes up to $109. And they're $174 for 3 years just for the standard one. For 3 years with the QST, it's $249. So it just gives you an idea of what the costs are going up. And with the loss of the magazine, that's one of the deterrents for me, because I always like to sit down and go over it, just in the evening and something like that. And I don't go over the whole magazine at once, so I just go over it occasionally. So I miss doing that, and I don't like doing it over the emails and everything like that, because my email is on the telephone. So it's pretty annoying having to mess with it on the telephone. So that's just my perspective there. But anyway, we'll go a little bit further. Carl, stick around for round two. We'll be glad to be talking to you some more, and welcome back this evening. Also, next up would be Rick, K4RAB. How about it, Rick?
Okay, it's K4RB. Well, a couple of things. The Hurricane Expo in Fort Myers is this weekend downtown at I think it's called the Calabrium or something like that. It's on Jackson Street at 11 o'clock this Saturday. So you might want to look that up online. The swap shop is the 14th, Flag Day. That's the same day they're going to be doing I'm going to take the laptop and go over there, and they're going to do the, going to get synced up for Field Day, get the right software on. I'll have that done before I go over there. But anyway, so make sure it works on the network and that kind of thing. But the swap shop is the 14th. I'm sitting here of the mindset that I'm on a repeater. So anyway, to reset the old mind here anyway. But ARRL, yeah, I'm a member. In some ways, I sympathize with Ian's arguments. I miss old Wayne Green, W2NSD. He used to have 73 magazine, and he would write an editorial giving them a hard time every month. And in some ways, they deserved it. But the fact remains, it's the only thing we got. A lot of our spectrum in the up above, say, 1.2 gigahertz is going to be is kind of prime territory for the 5G stuff. So we're going to have to, and it may be a losing battle to keep that spectrum. So that's an issue we've got to think about. So I continue to support it. Perfect? No, far from it. I get the magazine. I do sit down and look at it, but I just think that the biggest thing we've got to do something about is the ham demographic problem. We need more hams. There's too many paper hams, guys that have licenses, they're people who have licenses but are not active. So that's the big thing. The more hams there are, the better we're able to defend the frequency, whether you got an organization or not. So anyway, be that as it may, I guess I'll let it go at that till round 2. This is K4REB.
Well, thank you, Rick. We certainly appreciate that, and probably for several of the guys here this evening. I know there were a couple other publications about amateur radio. I remember CQ magazine back in the day, and I wonder whatever happened to that. And were there any other publications that you're aware of, Rick?
Yeah, not that I'm aware of. CQ went out of business. The contests that they run are still barely running, and I don't know how they're doing it, but they're still going. I was in one back over the Memorial Day weekend, the CQ Worldwide WPXCW contest. They had quite a lot of people on there, but the magazine is defunct, and of course 73 is defunct. Of course it went out of business after Wayne Green passed on. So, but I remember his barn burning editorials every week. He gave the league a tough way to go, but I think they need that. I think there needs to be a bit of a watchdog out there. That watchdog may not always be right, but at least they're there, and they're making noise and making things, and saying, hey, you guys, you need to be doing this. So anyway, with that, back to Nick, K4REB.
Well, super. Well, you know what? You're right. They do need someone to hold them accountable. So the accountability is one thing that they really need. And to me, it just seems they have a whole lot of people doing not that much. Now, I just don't see it. But I'm sure they're probably doing something that's behind the scenes. But they need to present that and get it up front in front of all of the people that are involved with ARRL and let them know what they really are doing, so they know that they're getting their money's worth and they're doing everything to their interest. Well, super. Thanks so much, Rick. And we're going to move it on to Fred, KN4YYB, that has had my Heathkit 220 over there and worked on it a little bit, got that thing working okay, and it's not up to 100%, but it works up to probably about 60, 65% right at the moment. But I think that's pretty good for something that sat around for years and years and years, and he made some modifications to it and has done a terrific job. So, Fred, how you doing, buddy? Good to hear from you this evening.
This is KN4YYB. I'm doing just fine, Rick. I heard you talk about the 6-meter FM. I bought a radio when I first got into ham about maybe 5 years ago or so, and I thought it would work on that the club up there in Port Charlotte or north of here somewhere, and it never did. They was using sideband, so I've got that radio, and that sounds great if they get an FM repeaters up. I really appreciate that. And anyway, I could help with getting it going. Just let me know. But anyway, that's about all I got for this round here. I just wanted to say. That I would appreciate if they could get that 6-meter FM going. Back to you, Rick.
Roger that. Well, one of the couple of the things that came up was whether we were going to do we're going to do it on the horizontal plane, or whether we're going to do vertical, or what. So nothing was really mentioned about repeaters, but I mean that could be a possibility. And in the future if that would start something up anyway. So we'll see what happens. All right, well, Fred, thanks so much. And we got Angelo standing by, KB4AR. How's it going, Angelo?
Good evening, Rick, and Ned. Yeah, everything's going great here. Yeah, HS has been, I've been doing it FT8, and today was actually better. Yesterday was pretty abysmal, but I think conditions are improving. As far as ARRL, I look at them as the same as the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association, which I was a member of for over 30 years when I had an airplane I was flying. And they handle themselves much like ARRL guys. More, and I support them. I'm a member, and I pay my dues every year. I don't really read the magazine, but I pay for, them to be the watchdog, because really there isn't anybody else. So somebody's got to hold them accountable. So that's my feeling on that subject. So I'll turn it back over to you, Rex. This is KB4AR.
Yep, I agree with you there, Angelo. Somebody's got to watch out for it. But it's a shame we don't have an alternative also, like a few other have mentioned. So, okay, well, super. We're back and ready to go with Charles, KI4GED. Good evening, Charles.
Well, good evening, Rick and everybody on the net. I don't have too much to add. Let's see. He's talking about magazines. I do get the ARRL. I like the magazines, and I pay extra to get the magazine because if it's on the on the computer, I won't look at it. And let's see. He's talking about older magazines. 7.3 is a magazine. They used to have one called 7.3. That's been years ago. Now, I got a copy of a CQ magazine in front of me. It's March of 1973. And you can get a FM Ringo antenna, an AR-2 for $12.50 back in 1973. Okay, the swap shop is the second and the fourth Saturdays, and this month I'm pretty sure that the fourth Saturday is field day, so there won't be a swap shop on field day, or never has been. That's my guess anyway on that. So that's it for this round. Rick, I'll send it back to you. W8KZT, this is KI4GED.
Oh, roger that. I thought I might have heard that they were going to have field day at the swap shop. Is that correct?
Well, they never have. I don't think so. I don't think you can stay all night at the swap shop. And field day is behind the library in North Fort Myers, as far as I know. It's where it's always been. Well, it's been that way for several years. It used to be in Lehigh Acres. It's been in different places. But it's behind the library on Old 41 at the rec center there, for the Lee County Rec Center there is where it's usually at for sure, for winter and summer field day. As far as I know, that's where it's at. It should be on the internet. I think there's on the modulator or something like that might tell more about it. I'll send it back to you again. W8KZT, this is KI4GED.
Yeah, well, thanks, Charles. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'll have to check that out and see what they're saying. But I'd almost bet if that's what it's always been, it shouldn't change. But it's for some reason, I don't know why I heard that they were going to have something there at the swap shop. But we'll check it out next weekend and see what they say. Super, Charles. Thanks so much. Well, we've got an additional gentleman in here this evening, John, KN4AWC. How about it, John? How you doing this evening?
I'm doing fantastic. Glad to hear everybody. Just on a new radio, and I talked to Ian earlier this week.
Super. Well, you're coming in real good. You do a little bit more modulation, though, John. Do you have anything to say on, any of the issues this evening?
No. I was kind of disappointed that the paper magazine on ARRL. I went with digital because, as you get older, you got to move with technology and use and read the magazine on a tablet. But I have sympathy if you try to read it on a phone; it's almost impossible.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'll tell you what, it is pretty annoying trying to navigate around through it. But I do the best I can and get what I can. It seems to me like even though I'm able to go through it, it seems like they're pretty repetitive, a lot of things that go on month to month. But oh well, got to live with it. But super, John. Thanks so much for your input. And we're at the end of the first round. And I'd like to see at this point, do we have any further check-ins for the Cape Coral Gabfest? If you would please come with your name and call, and I'll be listening. Okay, nothing heard here. Did anyone else hear anything I didn't? Okay, well, we'll go ahead and go back up to Ian. And what do you got for round two there, Ian? KO4 EFS. Go ahead.
KO4 EFS. I don't want to get too much into the ARL. I've made all my points on my YouTube channel. I'm just so unhappy with those people. I couldn't possibly spend any more money. But I'm just going to leave it there. I mean, everybody knows the arguments, and you either have to decide whether you're going to throw money in a hole, and hopefully it helps, and maybe it will. I don't know. I personally, I'm very involved in politics. I mean, I produce the big political talk radio show in town, but I'm very into politics, and I'm very into Washington, and I'm very inside the Beltway a lot with the winks and the wonks of politics. And I actually don't believe that they do anything to help protect our bandwidth, but that's just me. I know how it works up there, and I know how much people care and don't care about things. That's just my opinion. Anyway, let's move on to something more fun. They got a storm in Texas. It's moving through Texas, covering it on YouTube now on our feed. And I have currently 8 storm chasers up, and we've got a hell of a lowering coming down right now. This is near Lubbock. It's going to pass off just north of Lubbock, Texas, and currently tornado warned, and we've got a lowering coming down. So very interesting. I might stay with that coverage after we get done here on the net, because it's pretty good. Last thing I want to talk about, something really, really cool. If you like to work special event stations, I've got the best one I've done so far. You know, I love to do the one every year. I love to do the one every year for, what's it called? The 13 colonies. I do 13 colonies every year. I love 13 colonies. Well, there's a new one, or it may not be a new one, it may be an old one, but there's one going on that I just kind of found out about called Lewis and Clark Trail on the Air. Break for time. Because, yeah, I set my timeout timer for 2 minutes. Anyway, Lois and Clark Trail on the Air. Lois and Clark Trail on the Air. Just put it in Google, and it comes right up. And let me tell you guys something. What a really cool thing. They've got clubs all over the during where the trail went, where their expedition went. They've got station clubs all along the way, plus 2 special stations for special credit or to count for a station you've missed. They not only have like a POTA thing that shows you what channel they're all on, they also have, you can put your call sign in and it shows you all the ones you got work. For a nominal fee, they'll send you a paper award if you want one. They'll give you a PDF one for free. There's a hunter's checklist. There's all the information. It's a great website. It's lctota.org. That's Lima, Charlie, Tango, Ocean, Tango, Alpha.org. lctota.org. Check it out. It's been a lot of fun. I've got right now 8 of the 16 stations. It goes on till the 15th, so you got another 10 days. They're doing phone, CW, and voice, and it's been a lot of fun. I just wanted to put that out there for everybody. Well, guys, the rain's over for the next 3 days or so, but beginning of next week, we can maybe get some rain coming back again. It's nice that the drought's pretty much over. And that's what I have, KO4 EFS.
Yeah, aren't we all glad? Gee, I'll tell you, the canal's up maybe probably about 6 inches, maybe a little more. And I'm hoping it comes up a little bit more, because we need quite a bit more here. We are still up here in Cape Coral in the drought area. I was watching the Wink News a little bit a while ago, and it covers down into Fort Myers there and everything. So yeah, we really need a lot more rain, even though we did get some pretty good rain. The Lewis and Clark expedition, that was pretty good. Matter of fact, I made contact with N8QA in Portsmouth, Ohio, and he was on there doing the Lewis and Clark special events. So if you can get him, he had a pretty strong signal down here when I talked to him there on the 1st of June. So that was pretty good. And if anybody didn't catch the .org that Ian had mentioned, it's lctota.org. So just write that down, and you can do a little hunting like on the POTA for that. Okay, well, thanks so much, Ian. Lots of information. Certainly appreciate that. Appreciate your input every week. Okay, Tim, we're back to you, W6, WWW. Roger that, Tim. Well, thanks so much, and appreciate you having on here every week. And looking forward for you next week also. And also seeing you at the swap shop. All right. Well, Carl, you're next. W4 CFS round 2.
W4 CFS returning. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, regarding the 6-meter thing here. After the net tonight, I'll be monitoring 52.525. See if anybody wants to come on. That's FM Simplex. This past week, I put together a 5/8 wave vertical for 6 meters, and I had to do a little trial and error on the impedance matching coil, but I got it down to 1.2 to 1 on a good part of the 6-meter band. So hopefully that'll go. I don't have any elevation on the antenna yet. It's just kind of sitting temporarily about 10 feet off the ground, the base of it. So we'll see how that goes. So I'll be listening on 52.5, 525 afterwards, and I'll also monitor where we are right now on 146.49 and just see how this thing goes. So with that, I'll turn it back to net, and we'll see what happens afterwards. W4 CFS, back to net.
Well, super, Carl. I'll tell you what, we'll fire up the old HF rig, get her down to 6 meters, and I'll have to plug in the antenna. I always leave everything unplugged when everything's going bad as far as the weather and everything, so I'll have to plug that back in. So we'll definitely get on there and see if we can round you up, and that is for FM, if everybody didn't catch that. Okay, it'll be 52.525 this evening after the Cape Coral Gabfest. All right, well, Rick, you're up next. K4RAB, round 2.
Okay, it's K4RAB. Speaking of the ARRL, I got an email here just a few minutes ago that says the STEP-IR communication systems, the people that make the STEP-IR antennas, are going to discontinue production of the amateur antennas after August 31st this year. I don't know. They didn't really state as to why, so I don't know. They probably had some problems. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm sure that will come out in the end. Also found out that the Atlanta Radio Club has canceled the Hamfest. It was supposed to be a Hamfest up in Atlanta this weekend, and it was abruptly canceled, and I don't know the full story on that yet. So a couple of things I'll be chasing down and trying to find out. But yeah, I've got another net. I want to meet at 9 o'clock from some of the guys in Atlanta. But yeah, I want to get going on 52.525 FM. But it's probably going to, I've got to build an antenna. I don't have an antenna built up yet. But anyhow, I've been doing too many other little crazy little things here. So anyhow, but that's all I know right now. So I'm going to pass it back to Nick, K4REB.
Well, thanks, Rick. Appreciate that. Good information there on STEP-IR. But I can almost understand probably why they're going to get rid of the amateur radio antennas. They got pretty pricey. I mean, I've watched them for several years here, and they've really gotten extremely pricey. But then again, if you look at the numbers, I think like Ian had mentioned earlier, that the numbers for amateur radio operators coming into the business, and they're just not where they need to be, to keep all of these manufacturers going. And, a lot of people are building their own stuff now. So it's a shame because I think they had probably one of the top quality antennas on the market. And it's a shame to hear that. And I think it was all for right now. Okay, I think that'll do it for Rick. Okay, thanks, Rick. Thanks for your time and all of your information. So, Fred, KN4 YYB, good evening.
Oh, good evening, Rick. This is KN4 YYB. Not much else that I can think of here. Anyway, on your amp, if you put some new tubes in there, it'll come up to legal limit. But they're kind of pricey. The best ones are those Penta tubes. I think you get a set for them about $600. So, I mean, that's about the only way. That's the only drawback on those old amps is the tubes. Anyway, I'm gonna say everybody have a good week, and I'll give it back to you, Rick. This is KN4 YYB.
Roger that. Yeah, I put the Penta 572Bs in my 811H, and they seem to work really, really good. And I haven't tried to overload them or anything like that, like you probably can with them, unlike the 811s. And also, I forgot to, when I came over there, I forgot to bring those 811 tubes with me. So hopefully I'll see you at the swap shop, and I don't forget to bring them over. I had them sitting here on the bed behind me in the shack here, and walked off and left them. So hopefully we'll see you there. Well, Fred, thanks so much, and appreciate it. And be talking to you later. And Angelo, we got you up here for the second round, KB4AR.
Oh, very good. Not much more to say here as well. I'll be at the VE session next week, observing the testing. And that's about it. I've got a few projects around here at the house, and that'll keep me busy for the week. So hopefully I'll be here next week to talk to everybody. And everybody have a good rest of the week. KB4AR. Take care.
Okay, Angelo, 7.3 is to use also. And also, if you can make it to the swap shop, we'll be good to see you there also. Okay, Charles, KI4 GED, round 2.
Okay, good evening again, everyone on the net. Don't have anything else to add. We're looking for somebody to take over the net and maybe do it next week. We want to volunteer for next week. So that's it. That's all I've got. Should be at the swap shop in a couple weeks, and hope to see people there. So I'll say 7-3, have a safe week, and turn it back to net control. Thanks again for taking it. W8KZT, this is KI4 GED.
Okay, Charles, well, thanks so much for being in here, and good hearing from you. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you at the swap shop also. And also, I'm sure you'll be here again next Thursday. All right, well, thanks, Charles. And John, you're up for round 2, KN4 AWC.
Okay, this is Kilo November 4, Alpha Whiskey Charlie. I've really got nothing else to add tonight out here in Lehigh Acres. I appreciate all the conversation. It was great listening to y'all. 73.
Okay, John, well, thanks so much for coming in and enjoying the Gabfest. Everybody coming in new is more than welcome, and we enjoy having you. And, don't be shy and get in there and jump right in with us. So hopefully we'll see you next Thursday. KN4 AWC, this is W8KZT. Well, that brings us to the end of the Cape Coral Gabfest, and we will do one more thing and ask if there are any further check-ins for the Gabfest this evening before we call it. Okay, nothing heard from me. Did anyone else hear anything I didn't? Okay, well, I think that pretty much calls it, and thanks everybody for having a great net this evening, and thanks for everybody coming in, and we'll be looking forward to hearing everybody next week. I'm not sure who will be net control next week. If we don't have anyone else that steps up for it, I'll probably be it or Charles. So thanks again. Everybody have a great evening, and we will now turn this back to normal amateur radio use. Good evening from W8KZT. This is 10473. I'm going to fire this up in a few minutes here.
Okay, we'll stand by.
All right, and if anybody's no.
I'm trying to get mine set up. I've got it to 5:20. I can't get it between 5:20 and 5:30. I'm trying to get mine going. Carl, did you hear anything from Ian, or did you try to get Carl, Ian? Yeah, Roger. Well, we're both up here. Carl's in southeast, and I'm in southwest, and I'm in northwest Cape Coral.
For CFS, I'm on a vertical. I'll switch over. I do have a 6-meter beam. I'll switch over to that, and Ian, I'll give you a call. See what happens. Wait a minute. I gotta figure out which direction I'm pointing. I haven't even touched the rotator. Let me see. Ian, where are you located? All right, I think I'm pointing in that direction right now. I'll switch over and see what I can do here. Stand by. Roger, I'll give you a shout.
Roger. I'm going to move up a few KCs and tune mine, and I'll be right back on FM.